is Afraid is a polarizing film. The story essentially follows a man named Beau who is trying his best to make it to his mother's funeral, coming across multiple bizarre barriers to his journey along the way. It was released earlier this year by filmmaker Ari Aster. You're probably familiar with his horror films, Midsummer and Hereditary. However, Beau is Afraid is not a horror film in the traditional sense. I'd argue it's kind of more of a dark comedy. I had the opportunity to go to a special screening of Beau is Afraid with Ari in attendance. And before the screening started, he told the audience that if he were to give one tip for watching this film, it would be to not try to think about it too much. That it's just kind of meant to be a stupid ride. And when I read a lot of criticisms the film has gotten, I think that is where a lot of the disconnect is happening. People are trying to find something in a film that is meant to be a ridiculous journey. People are trying to dig deeper into a film that maybe isn't actually that deep. So, with all that said, let's try to find some meaning in Beau is Afraid.
And all I've got to offer is sensitivity, intelligence, and charm.
Okay, really, we're just going to be looking at a scene near the very beginning of the film. Near the beginning, Beau, our hero, played by Joaquin Phoenix, is shown to live in a pretty run-down part of town. There's violence everywhere on the street. He has to sprint to his apartment door as he's chased by a madman. This street is just pure chaos. It's dirty, there's dead people, you're not safe. You get the picture. And there's this moment I thought was so funny, where Beau has to go across the street to buy a bottle of water from the corner store. To do this, he puts a brick in the front door of his apartment building to hold the door open while he goes across the street. So Beau puts the brick in the door and he goes sprinting across the street to this corner store as fast as he can, nervously looking back at that wedged open door. And as he's looking back, he sees the heads of all these vagrants on the street turn in unison to this wedged open door, like zombies. And they all kind of start shambling towards the open door and eventually invade his apartment. These poor, violent, strung out people are portrayed as almost inhuman, simply machines of destruction, with no reason behind what they do except sowing chaos. And I had to laugh because this is what my family thinks living in New York is like. Okay, let's get down to brass tacks. There has been a very real rise in crime in the cities in the last couple of years. However, this rise in crime has not been nearly as severe as mainstream media has made it out to be. Of course, when you're in a city and there's thousands and thousands and thousands of more people living in a concentrated area, the chance of crime goes up. This has to be taken into consideration when we're talking about crime rates in major cities. For the purposes of this video, we're going to be primarily looking at cities with populations over 300,000. A recent study put out by Forbes ranking the safest and most unsafe cities in the United States in 2023 found New York City to be the 5th safest city with a population over 300,000 in the United States. I just said in the United States twice in the same sentence. Just acknowledging that I noticed. That full list of the top 15 safest cities are Honolulu, Hawaii, Virginia Beach, Virginia, Henderson, Nevada, El Paso, Texas, New York City, San Diego, California, Mesa, Arizona, Charlotte, North Carolina, San Jose, California, Boston, Massachusetts, Raleigh, North Carolina, Arlington, Texas, Santa Ana, California, Omaha, Nebraska, and Austin, Texas. Now I'd like to draw your attention to a tweet from Representative Jim Jordan from Cleveland, Ohio.
170,000 felony crimes were reported in New York City last year, the most since 2006. Major crimes are up 23%. But Democrats say NYC is America's safest big city. Give me a break.
Wow. Meanwhile, if you look at the same study, his district, Cleveland, Ohio, is actually ranked 7th in the list of 15th most dangerous cities in the United States. To give you that full list, we're looking at St. Louis, Missouri, Mobile, Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama, Baltimore, Maryland, Memphis, Tennessee, Detroit, Michigan, Cleveland, Ohio, New Orleans, Louisiana, Shreveport, Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Little Rock, Arkansas, Oakland, California, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Kansas City, Missouri, and Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. With a large city like New York, the intimidating size of everything and the amount of people actually kind of ends up acting as a safeguard. To quote the lyrical genius of one Lin-Manuel Miranda, as written in his song Cheering for Me Now, you're safe in the crowd.
Polluted and loud, but you're safe in the crowd.
Now let's look at this report from the CDC listing the top safest counties in the United States. Those counties belonging to a New York City borough have been highlighted that dark blue color. Black. It's worth noting that this chart does not count external causes of death related to poisoning, self-harm, falls, and complications as a result of medical treatment. You'll notice that out of these top 15 safest counties, 3 of them are New York City boroughs. So why are suburbanites so scared of the city? Well, there's definitely a little pinch of racism in there, but I would say the answer can be found pretty clearly here with our friend Marge.
I compared it to what I called Gotham City. The streets are filthy. They're covered with people basically dying on drugs. They can't even stand up. They're falling over. There's so much crime in the city. I can't comprehend how people live there. It was repulsive. It smells bad. And I think it's a terrible place.
Or our friends over here at Fox.
Right now, we're living under the law of the jungle.
As long as the fear stays alive and well, the views will keep coming. In fact, let's backtrack a little bit to Halloween and fentanyl-laced candy. How many times over October 2022 did I see some older person in my life reshare some post claiming that drug lords are putting fentanyl in your kids' candy? Here is my question. Why would they do that? Drugs are expensive. You think they're just giving it away? It's not a very good business practice. But when you have talk show pundits and Facebook posts telling you that it is a God-given fact that drug lords are poisoning your children in middle of nowhere, Wisconsin, you're just gonna believe it because it's all over the place, this misinformation. There has never been a single confirmed instance of some sort of drug dealer, gang member, whatever, poisoning a child's candy. The urban legend actually started with a real case in which a father poisoned his own child. But as we all know, suburban panic is alive and well. But at least they're safer in the suburbs than in the city, right? Right? check out another chart. All right, homicides. Okay, as we can see here, our black line is New York City. Our light gray lines are non-metro counties. Based on the chart, we can see that suburban counties in large metro areas tend to have the lowest homicide rates. But from 2017 to 2019, New York City's was actually even lower than that, and was only slightly higher in 2020, the most recent year the CDC has data from. Now, if we pull back from just homicides and look at all deaths from external causes, things start to look even worse for our suburbs. As you can see, our blue line, non-metro counties, in this chart is soaring way above our gray line, New York City. This is in large part due to the opioid epidemic. I think it's not a stretch to say that living in a big city, you're going to have a lot more public resources available to you when it comes to dealing with a drug addiction. Obviously, not saying it's perfect, we still live in the United States of America, but there are more of those resources there. If crime is on the rise, it's on the rise everywhere. It just might be more apparent in large cities because of the concentration of people. But ultimately, you're probably gonna be safe. Now, this is not me trying to spread panic about the suburbs. LOL. Crime is a fact of living in a society, but how you respond to that crime is kind of where the metal meets the road. But I'm not here to solve the prison industrial complex today. As I've stated multiple times, the only thing making cities like New York more dangerous than the suburbs is the concentration of people. I mean, also the housing crisis, but... and yeah, we're not, no. It is not, in fact, a zombie apocalypse, and there is no reason to be afraid. Hi, welcome. Yes, I know this video is late. It was supposed to get out at the end of May, but I went on vacation and then I got sick. So here we are, early June. Sorry. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment. You can leave a comment even if you didn't like the video. Let me know. Give me that engagement. If you want to see more, you can click that subscribe button. Crazy how that works. If you would like to support the channel and get Discord access, or your name at the end of videos, links to both of that are in the link tree down below. And if you didn't like the video, please file a complaint to the address provided and we will get back to you in a timely fashion. Bye. If crime is on the rise, ultimately it's